Hey guys, this is my interview with Damon Gameau, the director of 2040. This is just part one. I hope you enjoy and welcome to Mondays with Michaela.
So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. How have you been dealing with lockdown and what have you done to keep yourself busy other than dealing with your children? And
Yeah, so it's been game on with the 6-year-old and the baby, who's not really into sleeping at the moment. She doesn't think that sleeping's necessary, especially during the night. So that's been challenging. So it's been pretty much all action, a bit of a circus at our house. But we've been staying sane by trying to get out as much as we can. We're lucky we live quite near a beach and there's a private little access there. So we sneak down every now and again, or there's a bit of a forest near our house too. So we just try and get out into nature, and that keeps us sane.
Nice. Sleep deprivation's the worst. There's nothing like it.
It's a form of torture for a reason.
So I think I'll start by asking you the 2040 questions now. So in 2040, you outlined a range of exciting technologies that exist today which could serve as the basis on which to build a more sustainable future for our planet. What new and promising pathways towards building a sustainable future have hit your radar since making the film?
Great question. So I think what I'd say there is it's more of the uptake of, since we were filming, some of the solutions have really moved forward quickly. So you look at renewable energy, for example, even though our federal government's probably a little bit behind the eight ball, the states, what they're doing at the state level is amazing. So like, South Australia, for example, is going to be 100% renewable, probably faster than any other state in Australia. They're doing amazing work. Tasmania has pledged to be 200% renewable by 2040. The business sector has really started to move across and they're doing great things, especially after the fire. So right around the world, there's real action on renewables at a state and local level. I think that's really exciting. The seaweed solution in the film, there's a seaweed industry that's starting in Australia now. There's someone who's building one on the East Coast. We're helping one in Devon in the UK. So that's really starting to take off, which is exciting. And also the regenerative agriculture, the farmers, so many more farmers now are changing their practices, starting to implement those things we showed in the film. So there's real momentum there. So it's more that there's just been an acceleration of the solutions we showed a lot faster than I thought would happen.
That's incredible. It's so awesome how powerful new solutions and just being educated on those new ways, it can make a big change.
Spot on. Yep.
So right now, do you feel more or less hopeful that we'll reach your 2040 compared to the time that you were filming the documentary?
I think we might get there faster, to be honest. I think given how quickly things are happening in that renewable space, in agriculture, just a few other areas. I mean, I'm not sure that they'll all get done by 2040, but I do think in terms of our emissions that I think there's some really good things happening. So I feel very hopeful that we'll get to a good 2040. I think it's going to be a lot better than a lot of people think.
Oh, that's so uplifting to hear. Overwhelming. So why did you feel it was so important to publish a positive documentary on the environment? Because there's so many negative ones out there. Why did you think it was so important?
I just think it was important to balance that story, that there are great things going on and we just don't hear about them. And it's not to say that this isn't serious and we have to take it very seriously and we are in an urgent situation, but I just think most of the psychologists I spoke to talked about that we only have this window of tolerance which means there's only so much bad information we can take as humans, and then we go, I can't, it's too much, I've disengaged, I'd rather just get on TikTok or watch a really bad movie, I can't deal with that. Yeah. So we have to be a bit more strategic with how we tell the stories, and I think with climate change, as you know, that's all we hear is how bad it is. So people are starting to disengage. So I just thought there's an opportunity to tell a different version of that and get people excited instead of talking about things they have to give up and they'd be fearful of. Get them excited about what gains they might have if we make these changes and actually show a more exciting world.
I agree with you. I have so many friends that just turn the other way because they're just so overwhelmed. They're like, oh, I can't deal with it. But after seeing your film, they had a lot of hope, which was really good.
That's good.
People. So how does it feel to reach such a large audience? 2040 was quite successful and reached a large international audience. So what is that like, and what is the main message you want to get across to this audience?
Look, it's lovely. Obviously, it's a great feeling when you spend a lot of time to make something and the effort that goes in and all the people you work with. when that gets seen, because that often doesn't happen in our industry, that you can do a lot of work and make a film and then it just disappears and no one's ever heard of it. So when it does connect, it's a really satisfying feeling. And also just to see that people have taken action. Not only did they see the film, but they also contributed to sort of help build the seaweed platform or help the farmers, or teachers have downloaded the materials. So to see people take that extra step has been really, really fantastic. And I guess the message of the film is that, that we can do this. And that's what I want people to know, is that in a time where people are losing hope and going, we're doomed, it's too hard. It's like, no, we actually have everything we need right now to do it. It's just the political will and the vested interests that are kind of blocking us, but there's not many of those. There's only a few of them. They're just in the way and they're stubborn and they're annoying and they've got lots of power. Yeah. But once we shift them, we have a collective strength that's just, people don't underestimate how powerful we all are if we combine our powers together. So just to remind people that we can do it and that we will do it.
So with that, how hard was it for you to find all these positive stories on the environment and things that other countries are doing?
Easy. That was, it was, we just don't know where to look. That's the problem. Or that, to take it a bit deeper, we've sort of engineered a system, especially social media, that doesn't throw up the gentle, positive stories. Its algorithms are designed to get us to click more and be more emotional and reactive, because then we'll click and then they can sell that revenue to that information to advertisers to make money. So their whole model is based on us not showing positive solutions. So once you step out of that game and you actually start knowing where to look, it's extraordinary what people are doing and what certain countries are doing. We just don't report them in the media. A lot of our media in this country, as is, they have got ties to keeping the status quo. They've got ties to extractive industries, so they're more reluctant to share these messages. They don't want things to change. But it's when you step away from those main spotlight news sources that you can't help but see constant positive stories.
That's awesome. So 2040 showed that you obviously care about the future of young people. Has it been hard managing this personal philosophy and the commitments associated with your film whilst also having a young family?
Excellent question. Yeah, it is. It's tricky sometimes, but then they're the ones that keep me going. So, they're a motivation for me, and I want them to have a beautiful world and see some of the things that I had as a child. So that's a big driver for me. But still, I have my days where I do feel a bit despondent and feel flat and think, gosh, what are we doing as humans? It's just you shake your head sometimes. But I don't dwell in that too long, because I do know that there are great things going on as well. So it's a roller coaster. It's an extraordinary time we're in, and even right now, as we speak, there's even more extraordinary what's going on around the world. So there's different ways to look at it, but I think what a time to be alive. That this is a moment that we have an opportunity as a human race to fundamentally change the system, and not many humans have got that opportunity historically. So I want to do all I can to make sure that we head in the right direction for not just my children, but all children.
Yeah, it's nice knowing that we can be the ones that really make a difference. Like, we can go down in the history books as the generation that did something about it, which is pretty cool.
The regeneration. That's right.
So I have heard you are committed to making films from now on that have an environmental focus. Is this true? And if so, what will be the focus of your next film?
I think it will certainly come under the umbrella of sort of this better world for 2040. And I think, the majority will be ecologically focused. I'm doing a series at the moment with a man named Paul Hawken, who wrote Project Drawdown as a book, and he's written his next book and it's nearly finished, and we're doing a sort of a 6-part series with some really great and interesting people there. So that's going to be fun. But I'm also exploring a couple of other ideas that are, are related to getting to this better place. And I think there's a few issues we've got to deal with around our own barriers, our own addictions, our own egos, but also how polluted our information environment is and how tricky it is for us to make sense of anything at the moment and agree on things. I think that's a really messy area. So yeah, I'm just interested in finding ways through all that so we can reach that better 2040.
No, awesome.